6. We're talking more in depth of the Carson Wentz trade, free agency frenzy, and more on the golden truth. That is what's coming up next. Let's hit that intro now. Yo, what is up, guys? So, Oscar here, the host of the Golden Truth. Sans, my co-host at the moment, he texted me earlier today stating that he'll be a little late. He has a doctor's appointment. So, while we wait, I guess because I didn't get to do videos about what's going around in the NFL right now, I guess I could do a little debriefing here while we wait. Let me just make sure that there isn't anyone in the chat. All right. No one in the chat as of yet, but so this is the rundown that's going on today for this episode. Obviously, more of the free agency frenzy, and I don't want to take anything away from the NFL because right now they're doing that right now on NFL Network. So hopefully, they don't come after me for that. But we're gonna be discussing some free agency moves around the NFL. Like I said, this is off, so we can wait until Aaron can get here. He's running late again. Second week in a row, man. Like, come on. But yeah, that's what's coming up. I really also want to discuss Washington free agency. Really, everything is quiet except for players leaving, which is really annoying. Ron Rivera is basically doing what he did in 2020, letting good players go. So I do want to react to that real fast. Tim Settle to the Buffalo Bills. J.D. McKissick to the Buffalo Bills. Like, this is just ridiculous, man. Like, J.D. McKissick, okay. Tim Settle, the defensive line is stacked, okay. Defensive tackle spot is not, is very crowded. Like, we have Daron Payne, Matt Ioannidis, let me see who, John Allen. So I get it. Tim Settle isn't going to get re-signed. I get it. And plus you can get maybe a fourth or fifth string guy in free agency. I get that. But for you to let a guy like J.D. McKissick, the guy that basically helped the team to a huge win against the Giants last year, a guy that stepped up in the Falcons game last year, a guy that was a huge part in the win against the Seattle Seahawks. He was quiet in certain games, but when he stepped up, he stepped up. I don't get what that was all about, letting a guy of that caliber go. The Bills pay him for 2 years, $7 million. So that's just, at least he earned his money. I wish he would have stayed in Washington. Ron Rivera is going to get a lot of questions, especially with him having the hot seat. I mean, Carson Wentz, you have Carson Wentz as your quarterback. And here's the thing, I was going to do a video yesterday on how Washington should build around Carson Wentz to at least be a somewhat competent quarterback. With Zach Ertz re-signing with the Cardinals and J.D. McKissick now gone, Carson Wentz is going to flop. Unless you can convince me that you can get, we can get like an Allen Robinson or a Juju Smith-Schuster or another competent tight end to go alongside Logan Thomas and John Bates. This team is they're setting up Carson. I feel like they're going to tank this year. I feel like they're going to tank. Ron Rivera is going to get fired, like I said when they traded Carson Wentz. Now, don't get me wrong. Yeah, Washington now no longer has the spending money, and while we speak here, doesn't have the spending money because they are eating, or they're actually paying Carson Wentz full on salary, so maybe they can't spend big, which sucks. They had to let go of Landon Collins because he was a cap casualty to free up more cap space, and he started to flourish very well in Washington system as that linebacker hybrid, but it had to become a cap casualty. So now Washington, I think, has about $12 million in cap space, which again isn't much to begin with. But at this point, I feel like Ron Rivera is going to do what he did in 2020, and that's sign guys that fly under the radar, to 1-year deals, and then worry about extending them later. Which, whatever. J.D. McKissick, thank you. Thank you for helping out the team. You stepped up. You basically also saved a lot of Antonio Gibson's ass or butt for most of the time. So I guess I have to thank you for that. Tim Settle, you stepped up big in the season where Matt Ioannidis went down with injury. So, and your little penguin dance, will always go down in Washington history as the best little dance. So I hope I wish y'all the best of success in Buffalo. Maybe y'all can get a Super Bowl with them this upcoming year, but we'll wait and see. Let me see. No one has commented in the chat as of yet, but let's talk some free agency moves around the NFL, of course, around the NFL. So and I'm gonna do Dallas first because Dallas is an NFC East foe. So obviously the release or the trade of Amari Cooper. If you want more information, go check out my guys. I was about to call him Jason Alamio's sports channel, J Sports. I was on there Saturday night. I'll put the link in the description below, where we discussed the Amari Cooper trade to the Cleveland Browns. They re-signed Michael Gallup to a 5-year, $62 million deal. They were working on Randy Gregory, but and it looked like Randy Gregory was going to go back for a 5-year, $70 million deal, but it turned out that he ended up going to the different Broncos, not the Dallas Cowboys, for 5 years, $70 million. So at least that's one guy on defense that Dallas loses. I'm kind of happy about that. Let's talk about, let's talk about Tom Brady real fast. As much as I hate this guy and I dislike him, I just want to get my opinion out there. Because I didn't want to waste 10 minutes, 15 minutes about this dude. He's not worth a full-on video. He's not. But he is worth maybe 3 or 4 minutes. This dude is like Chucky. You know the Chucky the movie? Where he's a doll. This dude's like Chucky. This dude won't die. This guy won't go away. He will not go away. He comes back to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for another year. Ugh. And he also, so this is what I don't like. This is what I don't get from the dude. He basically retires and thanks the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization, right? Doesn't thank the New England Patriots, all this and that. He retires. Then it comes out that he retired because he did not get along with Bruce Arians, and he didn't get along well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization. So he was saying, if I come back, I most likely get traded, would like to go to the San Francisco 49ers. All right? But it's all noise. It's all yip, 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 yip. Him being a little chihuahua and talking, and yip, 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 yip. No. Breaking news, and this is what irks me, is that all day Sunday and all day yesterday, I kept on hearing, Tom Brady is back. By the way, Tom Brady is back. By the way, like, oh my God, every 20 minutes, it's the same thing when I'm already looking at free agency. I watched NFL Network for free agency news, not to be hearing, oh, Tom Brady's back. Oh, don't forget, Tom Brady is back in the NFC South. Oh my God, like, if I was doing a drinking game, I probably would have gotten drunk at 10 a.m. in the morning. That's how much they were saying it. All day Sunday and all day yesterday. Like, God dang. My goodness. So that happened. Like I said, he's stupid for saying, oh, I don't get along well with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so I want to go to a different team. But yeah, he comes back and he plays for the Buccaneers. Really? You do all that talking and all that trash talking about the Buccaneers organization and you go back to them? That's stupid. You're stupid, man. You're stupid. What else? Another talking point that I wanted to bring up. Oh, anyone in the NFC South, anyone that plays Tom Brady, can y'all just, this dude's about to be 40, 45 this year. 44, I don't know, 40, 45, yeah, 45 this year. He won't go away. He walked away healthy. But this year, can somebody just crush him so hard? Can somebody cripple him, please? So that way he won't come back the following year like, I made a mistake of coming for one more year. Now I'm going to be in my 60s and 70s with back pain and with knee pain. So can somebody please do that so that way I don't have to see this dude's face or hear this dude's name ever again? Like, the only time I get to hear about him is him being inducted in the Hall of Fame or him, like, doing something outside of football. Because I really don't want to, like, look how much I don't like this guy. Yeah. Yeah. Wow, 13 minutes into the stream and Aaron is not here yet. But yeah, y'all, like that's my Tom Brady reaction. Deshaun Watson, because I want to discuss Deshaun Watson here real quick. So this is gonna link up perfectly with Tom Brady. He probably came back because he heard Deshaun Watson was most likely the dude to replace him in Tampa Bay. That's another reason why I guarantee you he came back. Because the Panthers and the Saints were the team, our teams that are interested in trading for Deshaun Watson. But from what I heard, the Buccaneers were the front runners because they really had everything. You know, they really could have made a nice trade package to the Houston Texans. I believe, they could have gotten rid of more players. They could have, maybe not their offensive weapons, but they really have their defensive weapons. I think they could have, traded those to the Houston Texans and a few first-round picks. I feel like that could have been a viable option. So Tom Brady decides to come back when he hears Deshaun Watson is a guy to replace him. So, wow. That's how petty this dude is. He's so scared to be irrelevant in Buccaneers history. That's what I find funny. But Deshaun Watson, if you all didn't know, he is cleared from all the criminal charges, so he will play. Unless there are any setbacks or if there are any other court dates that that he has. I honestly think that we get to see him in 2022. I honestly, the two teams between the Saints and the Panthers, I'd rather see him go to the Panthers, to be honest. Not the Panthers, the Saints. I want to see him go to the Saints just because the Saints are trying to move on from the Drew Brees era, and Jameis Winston is not it. Taysom Hill is not it. Deshaun Watson, he's young. He's basically Drew Brees, Taysom Hill, or if you want Jameis Winston when he has, Drew Brees and Taysom Hill all rolled into one. That's what Deshaun Watson is, in my opinion. So I would like to see him on the Saints because he would fit that scheme perfectly. He could throw to, what's this dude's name? His name is gonna come back to me. But he can throw to that huge weapon. He'll have Alvin Kamara. So, I honestly do think that the Saints have everything to they can, get him over the like, not to say anything, but the Panthers really, like, what do the Panthers have to offer? Like, I'm sorry, but their coach doesn't convince me, like, at all. I'm not too convinced of the Panthers head coach. He thought that he could get the best out of Teddy Bridgewater. Wrong. He thought that he could revive, what's this dude's name? Sam Darnold. Wrong. He tried to see if Cam Newton would work out halfway through the season. Wrong. So I feel like it's the coaching staff that's basically the problem. Maybe the quarterback's a little bit. Well, Teddy Bridgewater surprised me this past season. He actually played very well for the Denver Broncos. He really did. He led them to a 3-0 start, which is actually pretty decent, and almost was this close to a playoff berth. But I'm not too convinced of this head coach of the Panthers. I'm not too convinced. What's his name? Matt Rule or whatever his name is. But I feel like maybe the Saints, because the Saints already, are always instant contenders. They're looking for Drew Brees there. So I think that the Saints and Deshaun Watson would make a good pairing. A dark horse for Deshaun Watson to land is the Atlanta Falcons. Although, why would you want to go to the Atlanta Falcons? Really? They're missing their key weapon in Calvin Ridley for the year. The only weapon that they got at the moment is Kyle Pitts. Like, why would the Falcon really? Nah. Deshaun Watson, don't go out there. That would be going to Houston Texans 2.0. Their offensive line, they need to rebuild. They don't have the weapons aside from if Cordell Patterson re-signs, okay. At least, that's a weapon there. But aside from him and Kyle Pitts, what do you have? Russell Gage, whatever. Like, they don't have wide receivers at all in Atlanta. So Atlanta, that would be a pipe dream for Atlanta, wouldn't it? But give me 1 second, y'all. Let me text Aaron and see if he can give me an ETA. Give me 1 second, y'all. There was a bot in the comment section. I had to block them. So give me 1 second, yo. All right. So breaking news, and I guess this is how this is why I also have my phone here. Not to just text or whatever, but I get to keep an eye on Twitter and what people are tweeting right now. So apparently, according to John Keim and Adam Schefter, Bobby McCain, free safety, has signed a 2-year deal with Washington. Um, yeah, sure, why not? Why not? I mean, you could have gotten someone better like a Marcus Williams who went to the Baltimore Ravens, which Washington actually had interest in bringing to Washington, but and he's better than Bobby McCain, especially Bobby McCain was burnt toast this past season, but why not? Shores up the free safety spot. Washington re-signed Troy Apke, which what the heck? Like, why is Ron Rivera so loyal to Troy Apke? Like, ugh, like that's so stupid. Why would he do that? I don't know. But Bobby McCain, 2 year $11 million deal. Why not? So that's a that's an okay move. I'm okay with that. Uh, maybe we can do something else in the draft or see what other free agent moves are there. Let me double check if there's anything else on Twitter real fast. Ugh, all right. Let me just make sure that Aaron is backstage. All right. So while we wait for Aaron, I mean, some news that they let go of J.D. McKissick and how they're thinking of replacing him in the draft. I mean, Eh, yay! Another rookie running back that has fumbling problems. Freaking Ron Rivera and their managerial moves. Like, what the heck? I mean, is it will JD McKissick be the same after a neck injury? Because after a neck injury, you're never the same, especially with him. Like, he suffered a neck injury and concussion and all that. So I guess bright side there. But let me see if I can pull up the website so I can take a look, and hopefully they updated the free agency. Maybe I can discuss some free agents that Washington can look at, some third tier or fourth tier options here, to help Terry McLaurin get that up, get some wide receiver help, because some of the big time wide receivers went off the board, like Chris Godwin re-signed with the Buccaneers. Devontae Adams, even though he's saying that he's not going to play on the franchise tag, he wants an extension. However, I don't see him coming to Washington. Like, he's too high of a caliber wide receiver for that. Let me see what other wide receiver came off the board. Christian Kirk went to the Jaguars. Oh, Brendan Sheriff. Brendan Sheriff, congratulations. You go to the Jaguars. So you go from one poverty franchise to another. Wow. You're like, I know that you wanted to get out of Washington, but you decided to go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, what the heck is that? You went to another poverty franchise. That's funny. But yeah. Brendan Sheriff signed, I think it was like a 3-year deal or something like that with the Jaguars. I guess Washington needs to replace. Look, they gave him 2 years straight on the franchise tag. I guess he was too injury prone to give him a long-term deal. Now, Washington has a habit of doing that. They did that to Kirk Cousins. They gave him the franchise tag twice. Didn't sign him to a long-term deal. Boom, goes to the Minnesota Vikings. They do the same thing with Brendan Sheriff. Back-to-back franchise tags. Don't give him a long-term deal. Boom, goes to the Jaguars. So Washington, at all costs, need to stay away from the franchise tag. Because if they do that, or if players know that they're going to get franchise tagged, then you might as well go somewhere else. Don't even bother, because you're not going to get a long-term deal done with Washington. So if Terry McLaurin gets franchise tagged this year or next, don't expect him to be a free agent the year following. Expect him not to get a long-term deal done with Washington. So yeah. But while we wait, let's take a look at some. Let me see if I can pull up the website so I can get wide receiver discussions going well. All right, so key note here: Russell Gage actually was a free agent, and he signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, so he's off the market. Yay! So hold on, let me see if I can pull up any players here. All right, so here are the wide receivers that are viable, and I would try to get them. So Allen Robinson, Jarvis Landry. Now Jarvis Landry was released from the Cleveland Browns, so at this point, and I know that the Chiefs and Super Bowl contending teams are interested in bringing him up. I think Washington should at least try to throw their names in that hat because Washington is in desperate need of a number two. Jarvis Landry, even though he's injury prone, he fights injured when he doesn't need to, and he comes up with clutch catches. Yes, his receptions went down this past year, but that's because Baker Mayfield was throwing him the ball, and they're more of a run first team. But I think that if Jarvis Landry would have come here, Washington would have a good number two wide receiver, and yeah, it'll help out Carson Wentz a lot. Next wide receiver option here, Devontae Adams. Already spoke on him. He ain't coming here to Washington. Will Fuller is another option. Will Fuller is a good option here. Hopefully, no one snags him off the market. We'll have to wait and see. I think what Washington is doing is waiting a couple of days to see what wide receivers are available after today or tomorrow or whatever. And they'll take it from there. So Will Fuller is still on the market. So is Jamison. I would be okay with Jamison Crowder coming back to DC. T.Y. Hilton too old. I would not entertain the idea, even though he did say that he enjoyed playing with Carson Wentz. So if he does not retire, even though he's old as crap and can't stay healthy, he knows Carson Wentz from the 1 year that they played together in Indianapolis. So I guess I wouldn't be too mad, but I would be like, this dude isn't going to be active. He's only going to be active for like 3 or 4 games. Juju Smith-Schuster. Now the question is, will he? Because he's a basket case, and sometimes he does immature things. He's about my age, maybe a little older. Him dancing around on the 50-yard line, that is a concern. But I think Ron Rivera should just, and I feel like his price would be too high. So let's look at other cheap options here. Emmanuel Sanders, old. He's another old wide receiver. But again, I would not be mad if we had him. He's another weapon that Carson Wentz can use. He's valuable. He would be he would be cheap. So Washington could actually attain his services here. AJ Green, I feel like he wants to go to a Super Bowl winning team, to be honest. But I think he wants to go to a Super Bowl winning team, so I don't see him coming here to Washington at all. Sammy Watkins. I mean, all the rest of the wide receivers are just, they're not impressive options, to be honest. They really aren't. It's basically small guys, camp bodies. So I'm not gonna waste my time. Let me see if I can find some tight ends here. right, let me see if I can pull up tight ends here. Wow, Golden Truth. Mm-hmm. Okay, so here are the tight ends that are off the market. CJ Uzama, Evan Ingram. Oh, wow. Really? Just those two? What happened to Zach Ertz? Hold on. Okay. Oh, Zach Ertz re-signed with the Cardinals. That's right. I'm not on this list. But here are the available nice options for Washington at tight end. Jimmy Graham, who's old, I would not get him. Rob Gronkowski, he going back to the Buccaneers. If he ain't going back to the Buccaneers, there's no way in heck that Rob Gronkowski is going to go to the Washington, especially with Tom Brady back. No. That's not. Eric Ebron, he just got pushed out of Pittsburgh. I mean, how old is Eric Ebron? Hold on. So Eric Ebron is 20 years old. I actually think he would be a good, solid option. Me personally, he played very solid for the Lions and the Colts. Played okay for the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 1 year that he was there, and then Pat Fryer, I don't know how to pronounce that last name, outplayed him. Was the number one tight end in Pittsburgh. So I would not be mad if an Eric Ebron came in, because like I said, Washington needs tight ends as well. They got John Bates. I don't know if Ricky Seals-Jones got picked up by anyone. Let me see. Logan Thomas, I don't know if he's going to be ready week 1. So Eric Ebron, I would not be mad at an Eric Ebron. Hold on. Kyle Rudolph, too old and really overhyped. He's tall and he can get the touchdowns, but I'm not too impressed with Kyle Rudolph. Gerald Everett, very solid tight end with the Rams and the Seahawks. Another good option. I would not be too mad. He would be a good complement to Logan Thomas. Blake Jarwin, who got released by the Dallas Cowboys. No, I'm not too impressed with Blake Jarwin either. Jarrett Cook, too old. Max Williams would be he would be a cheap option. He could be a solid number 2 as well. Played with, I think, with the. Yeah, he played with the Cardinals. So, he would be I would not be too mad. And plus, he's 27. He's young. So, he could be a number 2, especially if Logan Thomas is still out, or a decent number 3. OJ Howard, I would be OJ Howard. So he was traded when Tom Brady. He was rumored to be traded to Washington a few years back, because he wasn't too happy with the playing time that he was getting. So I would actually entertain the idea of having him come to Washington. Come to Washington, because he was rumored to be traded to Washington. So let me see real quick If any Washington news broke out on Twitter real fast. Um, nope, still Bobby McCain news. Hmm. Wow. Yeah. So those are viable tight end options. What do y'all think? Um. What do y'all think? Do y'all think that what tight end would be a good viable option? Let me know in the comments. Let me make sure that there's no one commented in there. Hold on, y'all. All right, so I looked at some of the other tight ends. They really don't look appealing, to be honest. So let's look at some cheap. Maybe let's look at some cheap guard options to replace Brandon Sheriff real fast. I don't know much about offensive line, y'all. So I'm looking at linebackers. Maybe some linebackers are good viable options here. So here are some linebacker options that are out there. Von Miller's obviously the most is the highest name. I don't think he would come here to Washington, especially after winning a Super Bowl. And Washington ain't in a Super Bowl winning mode right now. So Bobby Wagner, who was released to the Seattle Seahawks, he is good, but I don't know. I think he would be asking too much money. Again, Washington has no salary cap. Challa Jones, another guy that's probably going to go to a championship winning team. He went to, got traded to the Arizona Cardinals, didn't do, led the sack, was a sack leader in Arizona. But I don't like I said, I don't see him. He's probably going to try to win another ring in Washington again, ain't winning in Super Bowl mode. So, Zarius Smith. Now, this is an interesting option. He gets released from Green Bay because Green Bay, I guess, was under their salary cap or whatever. And Zadarius Smith is a cap casualty. So I don't know what his plans are, but I would really like him in Washington. Maybe if the price is right. I was hoping that Aaron would come here in time to get started, but no, he's not here. Miles Jack would be a cheap option too. He got released from the Jacksonville Jaguars. I actually wouldn't mind seeing if we can get him. uh, from I didn't get to see a lot of Jaguars games, but he was very good. He played very well in Jacksonville. So I honestly think with him and Jack Del Rio, like he could be a linebacker, give linebacker help there. Would really like to see what he could do in Washington. Hold on. I'm also trying to keep an eye out on Twitter, y'all. I'm making sure that there wasn't any breaking news. Um, well, I'm live. So let's see. Let's see if I can pull up some more names. I sent it to you, homeboy. Hold on. Aaron just texted me. Give me a second. All right, so maybe Aaron, y'all, like I really apologize. Like I knew that he was gonna be late, but I knew he was gonna be this late. And I tried to get rid of the show as much as I could. All right. Let me admit Aaron in. Screw you, Aaron.
Hey, brother.
Screw you.
It was my doctors, not me.
Yo. Like I was
Oscar?
supposed. Yeah. You hear me?
Yo.
Can you hear me? Aaron, can you hear me? Oh, hold on. Aaron, can you hear me? Yo.
Oscar, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Oscar?
Yeah, can you hear me? Aaron, can you hear me? Aaron. Hold on, y'all. Technical difficulties.
Yo, Oscar. Oscar, hello.
Aaron, can you hear me? See, hold on, y'all. Aaron, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, buddy.
Okay, now I can hear you.
Sorry about that. I was
No problem. I was able to. I found it weird.
It was my doctors. It wasn't me.
Yeah, no, I was just giving you a hard time. I was just saying, like, I was afraid that you weren't gonna make it in time because, like, I carried the show very well for like
No, I know you did. Trust
20,
me. I know
20
you
to
did.
25 minutes because I decided to talk about, my thoughts on Tom Brady, the not Lamar, what's his Deshaun Watson,
I think he's Seattle personally.
things like that, and I was able to carry the show. And I also, I'm also doing, like, I'm multitasking. Like, I'm looking at free agency
Trust me.
moves that other teams are making. I'm looking at available free agents that Washington should sign, even though they're basically not going to get any high profile players because they traded for Carson Wentz, and they're eating most of his salary cap. And
that's the mistake too. Is that I feel like because of how much salary he's eating, they're not going to have enough room for any of it. But honestly, Jason and I had a talk about this earlier in the week, and like the whole Deshaun Watson possibly going to Tampa thing.
And I really want to hear your take on, because I started listening to your podcast, but then I just stopped because I had to take care of other things.
No, I get you, brother.
So I want to get your thoughts on the Tom Brady, because this is what I said. I feel like Deshaun Watson, because he was gonna come to Tampa, and then when Tom Brady not trying to be overshadowed or saying, "Oh no, this guy ain't replacing me," because I don't feel like he doesn't like Deshaun Watson or
I don't know, but I mean,
he doesn't like being replaced. He doesn't like being replaced. So
I still think that Seattle would be a better place for Deshaun Watson, because I even think personally
over New Orleans, because I feel like he would be a good fit in New Orleans.
See, New Orleans doesn't have as many high-profile wide receivers right now as Seattle does.
No, they have Michael. That's his name, Michael Thomas. I was like, what? What's?
By the way, I saw a thing online that said the Patriots are looking to sign DJ Chark.
Oh no, he got signed. I think he got signed. Hold on, I saw that he got signed. Hold on, let me see.
Oh, and then the Steelers are going after Mitchell Trubisky.
Oh yeah, they signed him. Yeah, they signed him 2 year. It's a 2-year deal.
That's impressive, though. Actually, I think that's an impressive move. But it's that reason why Juju's not going back.
At this point, I think Washington. So here are viable options that I'll be cool with wide receiver: Will Fuller, Juju Smith-Schuster, and there was another guy that I wanted, or another guy that actually caught my attention. I mean, Allen Robinson hasn't been signed yet, so
I think he's a possibility. But if not him, then I say go for Juju.
Yeah, and like I said, I would be okay. I said I would be okay with Jamison Crowder, but I
don't think that's going to happen personally. But I think because I just think that he's got too many horror stories in his brain from his first time there, and I feel like, again, your opinion's valid as well. But my personal opinion is saying that I think with with versatility, you could either go Juju or you could go Crowder. And I think it's likely to be more likely to be Juju than Crowder.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So anyways, continue with Deshaun Watson, Tom Brady, and all that, and Tampa.
Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, okay, this is the thing. Regardless of whether or not Tom Brady hates to be replaced, because we know he does. Deshaun Watson, after all the time he spent on the bench in Houston, he wants to be a starter somewhere. And now that he can't do that in Tampa, he's going to want to go somewhere where he can do that. Because here's the thing that I would venture to say. If he went to New Orleans, I think the Saints would pick Taysom Hill as a starter over Watson.
I mean, but why would they though? Because Deshaun Watson,
because he's been in the system longer.
No, but here's the thing: Deshaun Watson, he's basically Drew Brees. He has the arm strength and he has the accuracy, and he's Taysom Hill. He's like basically Drew Brees and Taysom Hill all rolled into one.
I think if Deshaun Watson were to be a starter, you'd give Deshaun Watson a year away to learn the system from Taysom Hill, somebody who's been there for a while, and then you make that switch. Do you really think Deshaun Watson, the kind of player that he is even going to want that year, or do you think he's going to want to go in and be a starter right away somewhere?
No, but I feel, because here's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing that the Saints and the Panthers are at the top of the list right now. I think
if the Panthers are smart,
he's visiting them. I think they said either today or tomorrow or something like that.
I think that if the Panthers are smart, they will try to develop Sam Darnold more because he's got potential.
No, dude, he failed experiment, bro. Sam Darnold's trash. Literally,
they need to lean on Christian McCaffrey a little bit more, and then take that pressure.
Christian McCaffrey, though, is injury prone. That's a problem.
Well, he didn't used to be. If he was like, he's not the same person he was. I think that legitimately. I mean, I think Deshaun Watson would work better in Carolina than in New Orleans, but that's just me. Because you got a run first team that would take the pressure off of Watson. Then you could even do some design quarterback runs and have Deshaun Watson gain some yards because he's a more mobile Drew Brees. I agree with your analogy about him being like Brees, but if Drew Brees was more mobile and could take off when he needed to, that's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. I mean, what about, because apparently from what I saw, this is reported, right? This is rumored that the Atlanta Falcons also are a dark horse. But if I were Deshaun Watson, I would not entertain the idea. Like, they have no weapons.
Well, they're a sinking ship anyway.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley is suspended for the year.
They've got nothing. Nothing.
Russell Gage went to Tampa Bay. I mean, all they got is Kyle Pitts. That's all they have.
And that's not much to speak of. I mean, I think that, to me, personally, if you want to give Tyler Lockett, Metcalf, DK Metcalf, if you want to give those guys a career resurgence, put Deshaun Watson behind center in Seattle.
Yeah, and they do have the draft capital to do it too.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, the biggest thing that Seattle's going to have to worry about is just having a good backup for Watson if they were to bring him in.
And they also have to get an offensive, because their offensive line, I feel like the reason why Russell Wilson left was because he didn't have an offensive line either. Like,
did anybody sign Russell Wilson yet?
He got traded to the Broncos.
I think that's a good move, personally. I do. I think the Broncos need somebody that can be mobile like that too. I think when the offensive coordinator changed in Seattle, that's when things went downhill for Wilson.
Yeah. So, yeah, because the Broncos, they acquired Russell Wilson. I mean, their wide receiving core is stacked.
Jerry Jeudy is a beast.
Yeah. The running backs group is okay. They just gotta fix more of because their offense, it's decent, but
could you imagine how destructive it would be if Dallas somehow lost Ezekiel Elliott and he ended up in Denver?
Oh, don't get me started, because Dallas, they got rid of Amari Cooper.
Oh yeah, I'm not surprised by that. Watch the Falcons take him.
No, he went to the Cleveland. He got traded to the Cleveland Browns.
You know what? They needed somebody though, because they were already like the Browns are saving like $16.6 million in cap space, having gotten rid of Landry.
Yeah, that's another guy that I feel like he needs to go to a Super Bowl winning team though. I would be he's another guy that I would entertain Washington, but like I said, like I feel like he's gonna go to a Super Bowl winning team.
I'm curious to see if you know who else I think is a dark horse when it comes to Amari Cooper. And
yeah,
you may think I'm nuts for this, but Jacksonville.
No, he already got traded. He got traded to Cleveland.
Oh yeah, wait, I'm Amari. Sorry, Jarvis Landry going to Jacksonville. I mean,
I know that they signed. So they signed Christian Kirk.
Yeah.
And funny. So you know how Washington was stingy, didn't want to pay Brandon Sheriff. He goes from one poverty franchise to another. He went to Jacksonville.
Of course. I mean, he'll be the sheriff of his next poverty-stricken team.
He signed like a 3-year, $45 million deal or something like that.
How many times was he hit in the head as a child? No, but in all seriousness, though, the interesting part about this is that Jacksonville needs more than just Brandon Sheriff.
So they got Brandon Sheriff, they got Christian Kirk, and they also made some defensive moves. I don't know what defensive moves they made, but I know that they made. Oh, they signed Evan Ingram.
Was it Khalil Mack was traded as well?
Yeah, he went to not San Diego.
L.A.
Oh my god, LA Chargers.
Yes.
Oh my god, I don't like the fact that there's LA
It
Rams
feels
and LA
wrong to say.
It feels no like.
I don't know if I told you this, but I had when I was going to Lions World Services for the Blind over in Arkansas, I had a friend named Dominic who actually used to work for the Padres and for the Chargers when they were in San Diego.
Yeah. No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, he was a good friend of mine. I was like, dude, hit me up with some tickets. I'm like, no. He's like, I can't do that right now. I'd be like, I'll come down to San Diego for a game if the right team's playing them.
Yo, yeah, like let me see. What other moves?
Marcus Mariota is going to be signed with the Colts.
That's okay. Oh, what is your thoughts on Carson Wentz coming to Washington? Washington's doomed.
Washington is doomed, and it's Carson Wentz is going to take the blame when it's not going to be totally his fault.
Yeah, and this is what I really. They decide to sign Scott Turner, the offensive coordinator, to a 2-year extension.
Why? I don't think
why?
This is what
why? Like he's not that good. Like he's not good enough offensive coordinator. Like
this is a franchise thing where dumb decisions are made on a regular basis. Dumb decisions are and the fan base has no other choice but to be frustrated by it. Like so many teams, I feel like the fans themselves, they would know better what to do when it comes to the functioning of a team, simply based on observation than a lot of the coaches you see in there now. Like if you just went and polled fans, asking which free agents should be signed, I feel like you get better answers from that than you are from the actual coaches being in there and doing it. I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah. No. Yeah. Trying to keep up with Adam Schefter and Ian Rappaport is no easy task.
Or Tom Pelissero. He was the one who reported Brady.
Oh, Levon Miller Randy Gregory went to Denver. Oh, that's what Denver got.
That's going to be a good move.
But Lamar, my God. What's this dude's name?
Von Miller.
Von Miller may go to Dallas, why?
That's going to be a disruptor. Honestly, that's an upgrade.
Yeah, but dude, Dallas is not going to go to the Super Bowl. Not today, not tomorrow, not.
But and you know what? The thing of it is, though, once Von Miller discovers that that's the case, he's gonna head for the hills so fast he wouldn't have time to bring his rickshaw. Honestly, he wouldn't have time to bring his rickshaw.
Yeah,
he's gonna any person that decides to go to Dallas thinking that they're gonna win a championship. Really, it's Washington too, but any team that decides.
No, but here's the thing: Dallas is every year. Like Dallas are like, oh my God, championship. When RG3 came to Washington, they were like, oh my God, Super Bowl, and then he got hurt. When Ron Rivera rebuilt that offense and they got Chase Young and they were saying, oh my God, this defense is championship caliber, which no. I was like, they were like, oh my God, we're just one quarterback away from playoff bound, and then we just need to win a playoff game, and then we're Super Bowl. I'm like, hold your horses, yo.
Well, this is the whole thing with Dallas and Washington is this is a constant putting the cart before the horse type scenario.
Basically. And
don't count your chickens before they hatch. Look at the year that Dallas had all those stars on their team. They had T.O., they had, of course, they had Romo, they had Miles Austin, they had Des Bryant, they had all these guys in there. And yet, what happened to them? I think there was one year where Romo got injured, and they ended up going 1-15 with John Kitna behind center.
Oh no, they went 6-10 that season.
Well, there was a year where they had all these stars, and they ended up going 1-15.
That was Troy Aikman. Because I remember in 2010 when that happened with John Kitna, they went 6-10. I remember because Washington also went 6-10, but they basically tied for last place. But Washington, because Dallas had a worse division record or something, Washington went in last place because they both finished 6-10. Then Dallas again when Tony Romo the year before Dak Prescott came in. Dallas, I think, was like 4-12 or something because Tony Romo again got hurt.
They've gotten better in recent years, the Cowboys have, but it's still not like that's the thing. The double standard is so high for both Washington and for Dallas that they're never going to live up to the expectations held of them.
Yeah, so this is the moves that Washington made. So they re-signed Bobby McCain to a 2-year, $11 million deal.
That's smart.
Yeah, I was like, I really wanted Marcus Williams, who went to your, he went to your mistress.
That sounds really wrong, but
he went to your new wife.
He went to wife number 14.
Yeah, he went to the Baltimore Ravens.
Not really. No.
No, I'm serious. It's reported. He signed with the Baltimore Ravens.
Honestly, I mean, time will tell if it works or not.
Washington let J.D. McKissick walk, which was a mistake. Went to the Buffalo Bills for a 2-year, $7 million deal.
That's gonna be like.
And their excuses. Oh, we're gonna draft a running back in the draft. I'm like, why?
You already have
Antonio Gibson, but they're trying to get J.D. McKissick's replacement.
I'm sorry, but like if I'm looking at this and I am Antonio Gibson, I'm thinking, what? You don't have faith in me?
I mean, they're trying to get that because J.D. McKissick was like a wide, basically a
pass catcher along with a runner.
Yeah, Ron Rivera likes those guys. That's why he drafted Antonio Gibson. Granted, Antonio Gibson is used more as a running back than a passing back, which really annoys me. I'm like, dude. And here's the thing: that's his strength. That's
Throw
Antonio
the man
Gibson's
some passes.
Strength. Yeah, exactly. Like he doesn't do that.
Well, you could do the same thing with McLaurin. You could use him on end arounds or trick plays and have him run the ball as well as catch it.
That's what I do. That's what I do in Madden. I use him as trick plays. I got like 5 touchdowns off of him just doing that.
I'm telling you, man. There was one time where I was playing against a friend of mine, and I this is like a cheeky way to play, but I was on their 1 yard line, and I purposely did a quarterback sneak and didn't make it, so that I could throw an all out blitz while they're in their own end zone.
That's funny.
And so it was so funny too, because when I did it, one of my nose tackle jumped up in the air off the defensive line, intercepted the ball, and landed in the end zone.
That's actually pretty clever.
It is, isn't it? And then what I did was I went for 2 after that. Like, so what I would do is I'd go try to get a safety, right? Then I would take the ball right down the field, get a touchdown, and go for a 2-point conversion, and it's a 10-point swing.
Yeah, because like I suck at kicking extra points.
Well, it's hard to do with like the way especially for long field goals, but it's hard to do unless you can feel the vibration of the controller.
Oh no, I have the vibration set, but I don't know why. But I always struggle. Like even with chip shots, like I miss like 19-yard attempts. I'm like, yo.
Well, it's the I think it's like because there's a certain part where you hit it where you're trying to go for accuracy and then for power. Like when you press A at a certain time, as the meter goes up and then comes back down again.
I'm like, dude, I always miss them. So that, like, I don't even like when I'm in the mood. I'm like, you know what? Let me see if I can try a field goal. And sometimes they're in like moments where I actually need a field goal, and then I miss it. I'm like, you know what? Never do that again. and it comes back to bite me. So all the time, I always go for the touchdown. I don't bother entertaining the idea of getting a field goal, and then I go for 2. Like I don't try extra points like at all.
Like I said, I'll try to go for a safety.
In fact, I even suck at punting. Like my punts only go like 20 yards.
Oh my gosh, dude!
So I go for it on 4th down every single time.
There was one time where I was playing against a friend of mine, and I got so much defensive penetration that I actually intercepted a backwards pitch. Like my defensive lineman, I think it was like a delayed corner blitz. And so what happened was when my quarterback went to pitch it backwards, and this is like I was playing on an old system, so I have D'Angelo Hall coming up and just snatching it. It's freaking hilarious.
Yeah. By the way, did you finish the book?
Yeah, I did.
Dude, it's so good. Like I'm in the middle. Like I'm like halfway through.
I have there's a couple other books that I want to read. I finished reading on audio Ready Player One.
Oh my god! I was like I wasn't expecting my expectations were low for this book, but it's like I don't like her as a kid because I feel like she's too human for me.
See, I think this is see. I feel like
I like her adult self because
there's a loss of innocence happening here.
She has a conscience, but it's because she's older and she knows how to live with it. Like
I feel like this is almost in a sense a loss of innocence for her because they're going in between her as an adult to her as a kid to show what kind of person she becomes.
I hope this is like a book that I hope they actually make it into a movie.
Yes,
because it'll show the flashbacks. Because at first when I started reading the book, I was like, they were like, it would start the chapter off for her an adult, but in the middle of the chapter, 1992. I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like some Twin Peaks action over here. Nah, I love it. I really do, and I feel like there's something like, of course, there's a crescendo on both sides coming where I feel like you're going to see a bit of a connection between the two. But I feel like because the other thing too is even after Carrie leaves her, you see some flashbacks to when they're still together.
I haven't gotten to that part yet. I'm still like when she's like still like I think she recently turned like 11 and she's leaving like the family that
Stefan and
but the second time, not the first time. They already left them the second time.
Yeah. See, and oh my gosh, there's so many like moving parts to this book, and I love it so much. And you have until 7:30 to read it, so if you can finish it in that time.
Yeah, I hope I do. Like I have like it's a 7. That's the thing. It's a 7.5 hour. Like I was supposed to. My goal was to finish read parts of it yesterday, but then I got a phone call.
Dude, oh man.
Yeah, so then like that took my attention like the rest of the night. So then like I was like, I gotta read this book.
This has been a godsend for me because it's been keeping my mind off the other crap that's going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I mean, if I would have known that your doctor's appointment would have been longer, like,
well, I should have said something myself.
Was it at 2? Like, because maybe it was a misunderstanding. Because if you told me,
well, no, it was supposed to be at 1:40. It was supposed to be at 1:45, but I figured because it was something over the phone where I was calling in, that it wouldn't have been as long. And then I keep hearing her talk more and more and more, and I'm like, all right, I get it. But can we hurry things along now? Like asking questions and this and that and the other, and
yeah, because I thought that I was only like next time when you have an appointment that like is this close to actually like the show time, let me know so that way I can play. Like I said, because last week basically the same thing happened. You should have played.
Well. I gotta tell you, like, I still like this is the day after I found out, and I feel numb, like really, really numb.
Dang, that sucks, dude.
And this is why I'm just trying to do anything that I can enjoy doing. Otherwise, I'm just gonna be pissed and snap at people.
Yeah. I mean, I was reading the book today. I decided to do this, carry the show as much as I could.
No, trust me, man. It's like if there's anybody that appreciates what you do, it's me. And I wish I could have planned better. This is my fault. It's not anybody else's.
Mm. By the way, do you know the difference between inside linebacker and outside linebacker, and which one Washington really need? Because I really don't. All I know,
I think that they need an outside linebacker, and I'll tell
okay,
you why.
okay, hold on. Let me pull up the list because I was looking at inside linebackers more. Let me
Well,
look
so
at.
I think the other reason that I think that they need an outside linebacker more is Chase Young does so much to help that pass rush that even if you had somebody who was an inside linebacker that maybe wasn't as good, Chase Young makes that front four that good that brings pressure up the middle that much better. Like that's the kind of player he is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, hold up. I'm pulling up the list now. Hold on.
No problem, brother. I was just like I said, I'm just letting you know what I think. I think they need an outside linebacker personally.
All right, so let me see. I mean, here's the thing. I don't know why we're doing this since Washington's literally 12. They literally only have $12 million in cap space.
Yeah, it's true. And like
Oh my God,
any quality player should
they
any
paid. Don't even get me started.
Sorry, that was my
Don't get
bad.
me started with the Carson Wentz. Like, I'm still pissed.
No, I am too. I just because of dumb decisions. But here's the thing about that too. Any quality player that you're going to find is going to be well over 12 million at this point because the pay scale for really any NFL player has increased drastically in the past decade.
Yeah.
In fact, I'll even go as far as to say ever since the NFL's last lockout, the price range for most NFL players has dramatically increased. Like, am I crazy? I swear, I feel like it's increased so much over time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so is Heineken going to be backing up Carson Wentz?
Most likely.
Heineke's not.
I have a question. I have a question though. Would you rather Mitchell Trubisky or Carson Wentz? Because Mitchell Trubisky was this close to coming to Washington. If they didn't pull off the Carson Wentz, they would have. I guarantee you, they would have signed a Mitchell Trubisky.
I'm gonna say Carson Wentz, but not by much. I'm talking maybe fractionally. You know what I mean? Like there's not much of a discrepancy between skill levels for those two. I literally think it's got to be. At this point, they're at Carson Wentz or bust. And it sucks that like that's the guy that Washington now has to put all of their faith in.
Okay, so here are the options that outside linebacker. Randy Gregory, who's already signed. Hassan Reddick, who's already signed. I think he signed with the... Hold on. Oh, Philly.
Did we ever find out if Jesse Bates re-signed with Cincinnati?
Yes, he did.
Okay, good. Okay, cool.
Okay, so here are the available players. Von Miller, which, no, he's probably going to go to a championship caliber team. Or, from what I heard, Dallas has interest. Or he may be interested in Dallas. Or Dallas, I don't know. Dallas is interested in him to fill the Randy Gregory hole.
If he does not go to Dallas, I will be shocked. But if he doesn't go to Dallas, then I think it would almost be a guarantee he'd go to Washington.
Chandler Jones.
Ooh.
Zadarius Smith, who got released by Green Bay yesterday because they were over the... So they re-signed Preston Smith and they let him go because he was because they were over the...
and honestly, Preston Smith never would have gone back to Washington anyway, for one. But... Oh man, Chandler Jones could be could be a hidden gem pick.
What about Zadarius Smith, or is he too high? Too much money?
I think he's too high. I think Chandler Jones is at a point in his career where now he has to prove himself to prove that he's as good as he was.
Anthony Barr.
No.
This name doesn't ring a bell for me. I think he was AJ Klein.
I think he was with.
Hold on, let me see what team.
I want to say
Buffalo.
Okay, yep. I knew it was an AFC team. I knew that, but that's surprising that Buffalo wouldn't keep him.
Some dude named Nicholas Moreau, which I don't know either. Melvin Ingram.
Didn't you say he got signed?
No, that was Evan Ingram.
Melvin Ingram? No. I feel like the most likely choice would be Chandler Jones.
KJ Wright?
KJ Wright is a very good player, and it really depends on if Washington's going to go budget or not. If they go budget, then yes, KJ Wright could be the guy. But if not, if Washington is able to somehow muster up the cap space by letting somebody else go, Chandler Jones is the guy.
Eric Wilson? I don't know who that is.
Just no. Goodness.
And those are basically all the top level
outside linebackers. Yeah.
The rest are like inside, like Miles Jack. I think I saw there were like more profile inside linebackers than outside.
Yeah, and I feel like Miles Jack could have been a good choice if Washington had needed the inside linebacker, but they don't.
So what linebacker type is like Landon Collins? Because they switched him from like a hybrid.
I think he's still a hybrid.
Like inside, like a box linebacker. So what's that? That's inside or outside? Inside.
I think it's inside, but I think what happens is he's good to use as a spy for one, but he's also good to use against athletic offensive lines because you can have the versatility of basically lining him up wherever you want.
Yeah, I just find he was a cap casualty. I would have loved to have him like again as that hybrid because he finally was able to like step up and made plays, and you could tell the difference because in that Seahawks game he had an interception and a sack, but then when he got hurt, that defense basically depleted after that game.
I want you to say hi to somebody. Come here, Adam. Come here. I want you to say hi to
look at the little kid. Your nephew's made an appearance on my channel.
Yep, say hi, Oscar.
Hi, Oscar.
Hi.
Say a little louder.
Hi, Oscar.
Hello.
Mwah. All right, what'd you want to say, Booga? You said never mind. Okay. That'll get you some views. A cute kid.
Let me see. I haven't checked the comments recently because people haven't been watching. So let me double check. I kicked a bot out.
Botastic.
Oh, that's terrible. You
love it.
Okay, no one has commented. Yeah, Jason Alamio basically. So this is how petty this dude is. So you know how we obviously had the book club meeting today, right? So I was like, you know what? Let's keep it. And then I had internet. There was an internet outage.
I had a power outage yesterday.
Okay, yeah. Ours was we had power. We just didn't have internet on Sunday. So I was like, oh man, I'm afraid that, just in case. So I was like, let's just hold off for Monday just in case there's another outage. I didn't want to risk it.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, let's do it early Tuesday. And then you said, all right, sounds good. So I was like, I set it for that time. So I guess Jason has notifications on his YouTube whenever I go live so that way he can watch.
Oh my gosh.
Yo, he literally, so I'm minding my own business. I'm reading the book. I'm literally like reading, I'm into the book. He calls me. He was like, what the, F word.
Why aren't you on?
He was like, you're, no. He was like, you're making me wake up at 11:30 a.m. for your, a word. I was like, I'm not making you do anything. What's your I'm like, what's your problem? What's your deal?
It's me.
I was like, what's your deal? He was like, dude, you're doing your golden truth at 2:30 p.m. your time. I'm like, yeah, like that's the only time Aaron and I can do it tomorrow. Like,
yeah, dude, like, if he knew my situation, he would probably understand. But I haven't told anybody. That's the thing.
He was like, what happened to today at like 6:30? I was like, I had an internet outage yesterday, and I wasn't sure if it was gonna be back today. Like,
my nephew put cat food in my chair.
Dude, that's so cute. But I would be pissed too.
Like, so the cats like to hang out.
That's so cute and funny, but it's annoying at the same time.
I know this is off topic. The cats like to hang out in my bedroom.
I mean,
like underneath my bed.
I tried to keep on topic for the first hour, and I was about to, dude. I literally was about to end the stream, but when you text me, I was like, oh, let me get this dude in here. I was like, what's an hour?
I wish it had been different, but dude, God, this week has been shitty, really shitty.
I just hope I can finish the book in time.
No, I'm sure you will. There's just so much crap on my mind. I still have a job interview tomorrow.
Oh, which reminds me, I gotta fill out paperwork for my job,
dude.
So.
Like I said, I've felt numb to everything and everyone. I guess going on 2 days now.
Yeah, so let me see. Safety. Does Washington need corner help? I think they can get that in the draft at this point.
Yeah, I think and I think that's going to be better because I think the more physical and the more like with corner and safety, it's a combination of physicality and speed that are needed, and I feel like you're going to get that more from a younger player than an older player.
Yeah, and I'm also keeping track. Man, this is annoying. Multitasking, looking at Twitter. Like, I feel like we covered, like, basically Washington got, they don't need defensive tackle help. They don't need edge rusher help. They don't need they re-signed Bobby Mccain.
It's a good move. That is a solid move.
Yeah, that's for 2 years, 11 mil. At least Ron Rivera is doing something, right? Again, like I said, I would have.
It's a miracle, isn't it?
I would have hoped that they would have re-signed J.D. McKissick because Washington needs J.D. McKissick, but they said they claim that they're going to get someone like that of that caliber in the draft. Which, whatever.
That is a bold statement to say when you don't really know who you're going to be. Like, scouts have to My guess is this: the only reason that they're saying that is they've got their eye on somebody specific.
Yeah. They got Carson Wentz, which, like, oh my God. Like, I literally, dude, that video, go watch it on my channel. Like, I literally scream at the top of my lungs. I lost my voice that day. Like,
what's always irritated me about it is that this is not a one-time thing. Stupid decisions have been made by this franchise as long as it's been, or like ever since the 93-94 season. Ever since Dan Snyder took over.
Yeah,
Dumb decisions.
They've had a revolving door of quarterbacks. Like, they've never find someone stable.
They, in the past 20 years, they've had a total of
I think
17 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, something like that.
And the figures are insane. Like, it's amazing to me that they were able to make the playoffs as many times as they have in the past 2 decades simply because of that.
Yeah, they made it to the playoffs 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times.
Oh gosh. See, this is the thing too. Carson Wentz has hit that point in his career. He's good, but I think he's going to be injury prone too.
Yeah, Washington. Even though, by the way, y'all, mock draft. I think that's what we're gonna spend doing the next few weeks is mock drafts too. Because at this point,
all we can do is
then go over any free agency moves that they do. But I think now we gotta look forward to the draft. So, and and here's the thing, I gotta do draft homework because aside from the quarterbacks, I have no idea who's good in this draft and who's
Yeah,
not.
it's kind of the same with me. I have a curious question for you. How do you think Marcus Mariota is going to do in Indy?
I mean, when he was with the Titans, he actually did have winning seasons.
Oh, he did. He did. I just think that
And he actually had like a playoff win.
his team just lost faith in him over time.
Yes.
I still I cannot think of Marcus Mariota anymore without thinking of that play where he in the record books that says he threw a touchdown pass to himself
in the
Yes.
playoff game.
That is so impressive to me. I mean, it really is. A 1-yard touchdown pass to himself.
Yeah, like I feel like, and he has the offensive. Like, here's the thing: Tennessee didn't have the offensive line.
No, they did not.
They just got to build around him because the problem with Indianapolis, and this is what I have just a tad bit. I want to say a tad bit of hope for Carson Wentz is that he actually does have a top tier receiver in Washington. He didn't have that in Indy. And no, don't give me. He had T.Y. Hilton and he had Michael Pittman Jr. Those aren't, they're not.
Well, they didn't stay healthy all year.
They're not as good as Terry McLaurin.
Well, and they didn't stay healthy all year.
But then again, he did have Jonathan Taylor.
But so T.Y. Hilton and Jonathan Taylor and Pittman all were coming in and out with injuries. He didn't have them all three ever at the same time, except for the beginning of the season.
But we'll see. I don't know. I literally said this. I was like 7 at 10 at best with Carson Wentz. At best. At worst, we'll be picking in the top 5 in the draft. That's all I'm gonna say.
How many years is Wentz's deal?
For the rest of the contract, but I think that so this upcoming year, he has guaranteed money, but the year following, there's no guaranteed money, and he would have a $0 cap hit if he were to be cut.
Wow.
So Washington stuck with him for a year, and then after that.
Well, I'm saying how many more years is left in his deal?
I think 2 or 3.
So basically, we're going to be having him as a starter for the next 3 years.
No, because like I said, if he were only stuck with him for 1 year, and then after that, you can cut him because he won't be a cap, like he won't be, hit your cap.
I think Washington's going to be too afraid to get rid of him because the only other option is Tyler Heineke.
I mean, we're going to have to look at the free agency market for next year, but I think the next year's draft class is also going to be appealing.
Yeah, maybe so, but it's going to be very, very, very interesting. And this is the thing that always gets me because what the franchise, the front office is going to be constantly making dumb decisions, and because of that, you're going to have things happening that shouldn't be.
Yeah, they re-signed Bobby Mccain, and that's all the moves that they made today. They made no moves yesterday. They made no moves today. We'll wait until tomorrow. And here's the thing: tomorrow I gotta go to school, so if there's any moves tomorrow, I'm not gonna be able to immediately report on them.
Well, if anything, what I can do is if I hear anything, I can jot it down.
Let me know so that way I can take a look at it and then do my notes and then just have them ready for.
Oh yeah, no, of course. It was through. There's a combination of places that I get it because I'll go on to NFL Network, I'll watch NFL Network, and then I'll also look at my news section on Facebook because that also gives some interesting stories too. That's how I found out about Mitchell Trubisky being signed by
Pittsburgh,
the Steelers. Yeah, and this is the thing that's really interesting to me because I don't know if the Steelers the Steelers are a tough football team. I don't see Trubisky doing well there.
No. I mean, their defense is I feel like they're trying to find their footing after Ben Roethlisberger because they had Ben Roethlisberger for so long.
I think they should be drafting somebody and rebuilding.
I mean, here's the thing, though. Why? So Dwayne Haskins, they signed Dwayne Haskins, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not give him a chance?
That's what I was thinking too, and I think that's why I'm like, you have the best chance to develop somebody now. Haskins is not old; he's young.
Yeah, he's like my age. He's like 25.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, if you develop him, you've seen tape on him.
And he sat
done
behind Big Ben too for like a year. So
yeah, he's had that opportunity to really get to know what's happening. If you know what, okay, you know what, fine, bring Trubisky in. Let Trubisky back up Haskins.
he literally, who said this? Who had an interesting quote? Oh, Ben Roethlisberger probably taught Dwayne Haskins what to do, and he's gonna learn what not to do under Mitchell Trubisky.
Yeah, honestly, it's true though. Like
he'd be like, "See, don't throw that interception."
You're gonna see on the sidelines. You're gonna see Mike Tomlin sitting next to freaking Dwayne Haskins on the bench, and he's like, "Hey, bro, for this game, you're gonna see what not to do."
But we'll see. I don't know.
I mean, they may make Dwayne Haskins choose another number because they don't want him having the same number as Big Ben.
Who had the number 7?
Big Ben had it, and so Dwayne Haskins had it too. That's going to be an interesting story in and of itself, because when Dwayne Haskins was in Washington, he wore the number 7.
By the way, what's your now are you willing to agree that Tom Brady is a glory hog?
Yeah, I am. And here's the thing too. I'm going to say this.
Is he still the GOAT?
He's bad. That's how he's a GOAT. Here's the thing.
You didn't.
I did, and you have to deal with it now because it's out there. Here's the thing. Regardless of whether he cheated, which I do think he did, regardless of him being a glory hog, there's a safety element here. You need to know, and I said this on my podcast, I said you need to know when to start as well as when to stop. Tom Brady doesn't know when to stop. Giselle better check up on that man and be supportive of him when he becomes a glorified vegetable.
Yeah.
Mark my words, it's set in plants and stone. Plant that man in the ground because he's going to be a vegetable. He's going to take too many hits.
But yeah. So I guess because I didn't get you at the beginning, so you covered because I saw it. You covered Tom Brady. What else did you cover on your podcast this week?
I covered I covered the Cirque d'Italia review. Give me a second. I covered the Cirque d'Italia review because I feel like that's something that people would be able to do at an event that people could do with their families, but sort of at a good price. And I had a lot of fun doing it. And I feel like it's something that deserved some praise, shall we say.
All right. And do you know what's coming up this week?
This week, I do not yet, but I'm going to be checking my Facebook comments under Faxman's Musings to see if anything different comes up. If not, I do have another idea, but it's kind of a rough draft at this point.
Oh, okay. Well, all right, y'all. The reason I ask is we're going to conclude the show on that note. So make sure you guys check out Faxman's Musings on any of the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Anchor, Spotify, Pocket, all that good stuff. I don't feel like naming them all at this point. Also, if you want to chime in with your thoughts, make sure you check his Facebook page down below. That is in the description. Make sure you subscribe to my channel to be updated on any Washington moves. Like I said, tomorrow, because I go to school and it's finally sunny here in Virginia, so I'm just taking advantage. I'm actually gonna walk to school and take the bus and all that good stuff. So I'll be at school. I'm leaving here early, so I'll be at school early, just sitting there and chilling and getting work done. But that's what's just keep up for Washington news, European soccer news, things like that. That's what's coming up on my channel. So yeah, that'll be a wrap up for the Golden Truth episode 6. Like I said, I know that it was sloppy at the beginning. I tried to carry as much as I could. Aaron had some personal things going on. Aaron, just to let you know that if you need anything, we're all here to distract you. So
I appreciate it, brother.
Hopefully next week, keyword, next week we will be back at the scheduled time, Tuesdays 6:30. So make sure you guys stay tuned for episode 7. We will be back, reacting to any more free agency news, and we'll start taking notes and looking at rookie prospects and things like that. So that's
Mock
what's
drafts,
coming up
baby.
the next few weeks. But already, y'all, we are out of here.